In this video, we will see how you can compare year-to-date revenue by year and month for a particular year and compare that with the previous year. In this table, I'm showing you by year and month what is the revenue, and year you can select from this drop down. This is a presentation variable. Now, year-to-date revenue is for a particular year and month. Say for February, I want to calculate year-to-date revenue. We just need to add revenue for January and for February, and the total revenue will be year-to-date revenue in the month of February. And same thing applies for subsequent month. Now, in Incorta, to calculate that, all you need to do is just add this column here, which will be equivalent to running total or equivalent to year-to-date revenue by year and month. All you need to do is set this on running total, and let's save it. Now what this is doing is it is adding up revenue for each month and showing it here. So this is sum of revenue for Jan and Feb. This is sum of revenue for these 3 months and so on, right? And so this is easy, but what is a little bit tricky is I want to compare this year-to-date revenue for each month with the same month for the previous year. And while comparing, I want to calculate the percent change. That's what I'm showing you in this table. So for year 2020 that I've selected from year, for each month it is showing me year-to-date revenue for year 2022, right? And then year-to-date revenue for the previous year. And then I compare these two and calculate the percent change. So it looks like it is down for every month except January when you compare these two, and you can see that here. So doing this is a little bit tricky, but there's a result set feature in Incorta using which you should be able to do that. And as you can see here, this year-to-date revenue for December should match the total for total revenue for 2022. And this is matching here, right? This value and this value. So this calculation seems to be correct. Okay, so as I showed you, you can of course do this by enabling running total, but then I need a new formula where I can compare this with the same year-to-date revenue for the previous year, right? And in that formula, I need to compare those two and calculate the percent change. So doing that is a little bit tricky, and we'll create this insight again from scratch and see how you can do that. So let's add an aggregated table here. And what we are going to do is we are going to create a result set. So to create a result set, just add any result set here. And I want to use this view here. And in this result set, we are going to need first date for the first day of the month. And I have that in my view here. So, and I'll also need year. So let's do that. So this is going to be aggregated table and month start date, and let's have a revenue here. Okay. And I need to make sure that I'm filtering data for 2 years. One is selected year using presentation variable and for the previous year. So to do that, all I need to do is add this filter here, and then so year is equal to this, or year is equal to $per year minus 1. So this will return only for the data for the selected year using presentation variable and for the previous year, because we want to compare selected year and previous year. Okay, so there you go. So I have this revenue by year and month. This is first date of the month, and it will become clear why I'm selecting first date of the month to do this comparison. Now, since we need to do year-to-date comparison for each month, let's go ahead and enable running total. So now this is showing me a running total or year-to-date revenue for each month for 2019 and 2020, because from presentation variable I've selected 2020. That's why data only for 2 years. All right, so this is my result set. Now this result set I will use to create an insight where I can compare year-to-date total for 2 different years. Now in the manage data set, let's go ahead and select this result set. And now you will see why I selected month start date. So let's go ahead, and there's a little trick here to compare that value, right? So first, let me just show you this revenue here by year and month. So for this, I can just select year, and I can drag this month start date again, and using this I can select month. So now it is showing you year and month, and I want to show the year name. So let's use this. Now the trick I'm going to use will become very clear now. Now in the insight, I just want to show month, not the year, because I want to compare these values here with the previous year, these values, right? All these are year to date. How do we do that? So trick here is just remove this year from here and let's call it month. But now this is adding this for 2 different years. So we just need to filter these values here. Actually, what we can do here is, in spite of filtering it, I will use a formula. So formula here is sum if year is equal to $p year return revenue. Okay. So this will return year-to-date revenue for the selected year. So let's also copy this in the clipboard and let's save it. Oh, otherwise return 0. Okay, so now I have this year-to-date revenue for the selected year. So I can show this value of presentation variable, right? 2020. And now let's do the same thing for previous year. This is for 2020. I want to show in the same row this value for the previous year. So this is, all I need to do is subtract 1 from this and click on save. Now this is YTD revenue for previous year. Okay, and let's do a little bit of formatting so that it looks a little bit better. So for that I just need to let's do dollar rounded. Okay, this is good. Now I want to do the comparison between these two, right? So comparison is pretty simple, year over year comparison for year to date revenue. So that is pretty straightforward. So I just need to compare that with previous year, right? So let's calculate. So what I'm doing here is I'm calculating the percent change. So to that, I am creating this formula. So this, and then divide this by the previous year's YTD revenue. Let's validate this. And let's call it percent change. And this I want to show as percent, so I just need to select percent from here. That's it. That's pretty much it. And once you save it, this is showing you for selected year what is the year-to-date revenue and year-to-date revenue for previous year and what is the percent change. And now if I change this to some other year and click on apply, this insight will get updated based on the year I am selecting.